Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So as you could probably see from the thumbnail, but also this giant filled bin, we have a lot to talk about today. I did not film or talk about anything I've been warming last weekend because I was working on Happy Meal. So we have quite a bit to go through. And honestly, I've been needing to change my wax for quite a few days, but I knew this bin was already so full that I was like, I have to wait till I can film. So I feel like let's just get into it with the wax and some of these larger items, which is mostly the bricks, honestly, because they are taking up the most space. So let me just start by pulling those out so we can at least make some room in the basket. Okay, so let's just start with this. I have some sugar cookie, which this is actually something, I mixed it, but do I have what I mixed it with? No. Okay, I think I threw the bar away. I had a cube of caramel apple craze that I was gonna do in the office here, and then I never ever warmed it. So I took a cube of that, just a regular bar cube, and a third of a cube of this sugar cookie brick, and I mixed them together at work, and they were so yummy. Caramel apple craze is very caramel forward. Like sometimes it could be a little bit too sickeningly sweet. You might be thinking, okay, so you cut it with another sweet scent, but it actually worked really well. I feel like it wasn't as overpowering as it normally is, and so I was a really big fan of mixing those two together. I have other caramel apple craze testers that I could totally see myself doing that with because this brick's already pre-cut into thirds. So used up a little bit of that, and then I did this, I'm assuming, full cube of Cozy Kitchen. I think I did it in my morning warmer, and it was super yummy. This has been not this past week, but the week before, I'm pretty positive. I absolutely loved it there. I feel like this is a scent that's good from now until honestly the end of January. It's just Cozy Kitchen. It's like a yummy cozy bakery spiced apple, really yummy. And then I did a cube, I think it was this cube, even though this one's randomly also missing. I did this of the salted caramel cider. Downstairs, I put a warmer back in our more open concept living area of our downstairs. And honestly, I think doing this down there, and I did quite a bit of it, just kind of reaffirmed that this scent is not really up my alley. It sounds like something I would like. It's caramel, love caramel, and it's kind of that cidery, so it's a little bit spiced, and maybe a hint of apple-y-ish, or some sort of fruit, but it's mostly caramel forward, and it's almost like a burnt caramel or something is throwing me off of it. I don't know if it's the combo of the cider, the spices and the caramel, but I just don't think I love it. And honestly, I'm trying to be in the mindset of I'm not going to use things I don't love because I have so many things I do love, especially since I get them very often in my club, that I need to prioritize those and not things like this. So actually, this is going to go into my de-stash pile because there's plenty left of it. It's also kind of juicy. I don't know if you can tell that. She was kind of juicy when I pulled her out, but I just know that I'm not going to reach for more of this, and it is available in the catalog now, but I want this to go to a better home. So she is unfortunately moving along, and I need to check. I don't know that I have another brick of that. If I do, I'll kind of not be devastated, but that will be a bummer, but I'm not sure that I do. So, oh, this was the bar of caramel apple craze. I was looking for red, but the wax is red. The packaging is this color. That is what I mixed. Okay, let me pull out the rest of the bars here. And I have some duplicates. Okay. Wow, this bin is very full. Okay, let's, I think, start with this scent. So I believe I put this in after, I think this was the same week I did this Cozy Kitchen in my morning warmer. I put in Crayon Apple Crumble, and this is a fairly old bar. It's from 12 of 22. I really love this scent. It went away. I had it in my club for a while, but I don't have it in my club anymore. I feel like excuse excuse me. I feel like people didn't like this because they got like a dusty note or something from it, but I thought it was beautiful. It was like a perfect combo of apple and like a almost like a crumb or like apple crisp, like something like crumbly that you would put on the top of like a fall dessert, or like a, you know, like rhubarb crisp has like that, you know, the crispiness. That's what I get from this. And I thought it was beautiful. So I did 4 cubes. I did 2 and 2 throughout the like living kitchen area of the house. And then I also did a sample of it at work, and I really loved it in both places. I find it did better at work because it's a smaller area, less like scent congested, if you will. In my open concept or like in my house, this generally doesn't perform as well because it's a bigger space. And this scent isn't one that's like a powerhouse. It's more subtle. So don't know if that's why people weren't fans of it or what, but I wanted to get some use on this because it is a fall favorite. And I think I have a couple bars of it, so wanted to try to use some of that up. And then I don't know what else happened here because I kind of got a weird mixture of things. I might have even done this in the bedroom potentially, not positive, because then I have this whole other stack of things that I know I did all together. So not sure what happened there. Let's start with this one, which is the Frights and Delights, which is the scent of the month right now for September. The scent of the month for September. Yes, the current one is Have S'more Pumpkin. I'm like, but what is the current scent? This to me smelled super reminiscent of something we've had before, like in the Scentsy lineup. It's definitely not my favorite. It's very, not gourmand, but almost like too sweet. Something about it is just almost like sickeningly sweet. I don't know. I'm contemplating if I try it again, maybe in my open concept. I'm almost feeling, I don't know the notes off the top of my head, but I kind of feel like almost like a butterscotch or something. Something that's just giving it a little bit too much sweetness. So I may try this again in a bigger area. I just tested it in my like laundry room area just because I was a little bit nervous about it. So I may give it a retry just because it's newer and I want to maybe test it out a little bit more. Sometimes when I try scents the first time, I'm like, this is bad. And then I try them like 2 years later because I have a bar laying around after they're long gone and discontinued. And I'm like, I actually really liked that. Like, why did I not give it another shot? So we'll see what I end up doing with that one. And then I had this Sparkling Spiced Citrus, which is actually the scent that's available in the Harvest Collection like cleaning bundle. And I contemplated getting that because I just really am craving some like seasonal fall hand soaps, and we're lacking in that department in Scentsy right now. I'm very upset about it. So I realized I had a bar, so I was like, let me try it. And I decided not to get the cleaning bundle because I really wanted it for the hand soap, maybe the dish soap. And I was like, I don't know that I want to buy the whole thing just for one part of the bundle. But I was like, let's just still try out this scent. It is kind of more leaning towards Christmas for me, I think, because of the sparkling, this like spiced citrus aspect of it. It kind of reminds me of more like an orange pomander, like not quite as spicy, but more along those lines. So I ended up putting this in the garage warmer, just a cube of it, and I will happily be rotating between this and the Huddle Up because they're both really, really good out there. They're not scents I like enough to do in the house, but I don't dislike them, so I enjoy them in the garage, if that makes sense. So I'll be rotating through these two out there. Also, because of what I warmed inside, I didn't have enough cubes inside. Let me better describe that. Because of what I warmed around the open concept, let's just talk about it. It was Apple Harvest Dreams. I warmed this around the open concept, and I had a cube that I sampled, so I had a weird like number of cubes. I like to do 4 and 4 typically for my bars if I don't do the whole entire bar. So I was like, how am I gonna split this up in my open concept? So I ended up just doing 3 throughout the living kitchen area. And I freaking love this scent. This is beautiful from the Harvest Collection. It is so yummy. It is like the perfect spiced apple. And I am more team apple than I am team pumpkin, so I'm a super fan of this. I ended up putting it in my club for now. Will it stay there forever? I don't know, but I thoroughly am enjoying this. But because there was only 3 cubes that I used up of it, I needed a cube for the bedroom, and I had this kind of like half, there would have been one missing from it. It is the Moonlight Whisper, and this was also maybe from the Harvest collection based on the date of it. I'm not exactly positive, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put one of these cubes in the bedroom and try it out. It was such a weird scent. Like, I feel like in the packaging, it's definitely light, but it's almost like a vanilla, like, it's definitely more of a bedroom scent, or like a conceptual scent versus like apple, a certain fruit, spicy. Like, it's very conceptual to me. So I thought it'd be good in the bedroom. For like the first 3 days, I literally didn't smell it. And I was like, why do I keep turning this warmer on? Like, I literally feel like I can't even smell this scent. And then on like the 4th day, as I was laying in bed, I turned my warmer off. It's like right by my bed. And I turned it off as I fall asleep. And I was just laying there after I had turned the warmer off. I was just like, whatever, trying to fall asleep. And I was getting like whiffs of it. And it was very like pretty vanilla. And I was like, why today? Like, it's just super, super subtle. I don't know. So I'm very conflicted about this. Part of me is like, should I bring it to work? Should I try it somewhere else? I don't know, because like it was so faint. But then at the end, I felt like I kind of got something from it. So now I'm like, okay, is it actually good, but it's just super light? Like, this one might have to be a take to work and try it out there potentially. So we will see where I get on with this one. And I don't feel like it's seasonal necessarily. Like, I could even do this into like January, February if I have other things I want to try out at work first. So we'll see. And then I had this bar of birthday wishes. I actually had it on my desk here in my office because I was going to use it in my office. And then I pulled out a new fresh bar of birthday wishes and was going to bust that out and put it in my morning warmer before I realized I had this going. So I ended up using just 2 cubes in my morning warmer this past week of birthday wishes. So yummy. I absolutely love this scent. It's in my club. Need I say more? I'll probably do something else and then come back to this. I generally like rotate through things until I sort of finish up the bars. So, okay, we have some more Scentsy wax, but they're actually in tester form. I don't know if this will politely sit there. I have 2 Autumn Hearths, which I did in my downstairs warmer. I did one, and I felt like it didn't fill up the dish enough, so I ended up pulling out a second one. This isn't my favorite scent by any means, but I pulled out a bunch of full testers and set them aside just so they're easy to grab from. And so I just happened to pull out these 2 and decided I would test them out downstairs. And then at work, after the Cranible Crumble, I threw in a Scarlet Sunflower, and this is very, very yummy. I enjoyed it for multiple days at work. I find myself honestly switching my work warmer out more than my home warmers. I think because I spend so much time, like so many hours in a row with the same scent, that I get bored of it faster. So I feel like I actually switch that one out the most, which is kind of funny because I feel like I'm probably there less than I'm technically at my house, but it feels like so much time in one space with one scent that I just get bored of it faster. So anyway, a couple of pods. I have a finished set of Luna pods. I've been really bad about changing out my pods, and I want to be a little bit better about it. And then I also have a container of Make Me Snickerdoodle, which is super random because I put this in like a couple weeks ago. I generally, with my pods, like rotate them around places as they get weaker and weaker, if that makes sense. And then generally my pods that are like the weakest or dying the most, I'll put in a wall fan that I plug or like turn on as when we're away from the house, like for the day, just so that it smells a little bit decent. Or like, you know, if somebody comes to check on Gem, or like when you come home, it's just a little bit fresh. It's not just like a stale house when you're gone. And I don't feel bad because they're my weakest pods. Like, I'm not wasting them, I don't feel like. So Luna was that case for the ones I took out last. But the Make Me Snickerdoodle's been going for a couple weeks. I just need to get a better pod system going. And then throwback, don't mind me, finished up a dish soap in Blue Grotto. So we actually use the Dawn like power wash spray situation, like the bottle of it, but since we bought the first one and maybe a couple refills, I'm sure you've seen this online, but you can like refill it yourself at home, and we've done that ever since. So we have like the Kirkland or Sam's Club, whatever, just like generic Dawn dish soap liquid bottle, and so we make it with that, with the combo of however you make it. But recently, because you have to put rubbing alcohol in it to like make the texture kind of right to get the spray situation going, sometimes it smells pretty alcohol-y. So a while back, I started cutting the dish soap with half the Dawn dish soap and half the Scentsy dish soap. So it gave it a little bit of fragrance, and it wasn't quite as harsh with the alcohol. And obviously, I do really like our Scentsy dish soap. RIP. It is no longer a thing for the most part. So I have been loving this to help like kind of use it up. But this is also why I felt like getting that like fall seasonal sparkling spiced citrus would be really yummy for this time of year. But I have like 4 other dish soaps, so I was like, I just need to rotate through my stash and then go from there. I don't need to buy more of it, because you literally probably use like maybe this much of it, and then the bottle lasts for probably like a month or a month and a half for us. So it's like, it takes quite a bit to get through something. I will say it's extended the life of our dish soap by 1,000. It's crazy, because we just drive by the giant, like, you know, Costco, Sam's Club jug, and then you cut it with water because it's the formula. I don't know. It works super well for us. And we love the spray feature on the power wash. So I see nothing wrong with it. We've been absolutely loving it. So I have 2 things to talk about that aren't Scentsy related. So if you're not here for that, apologies. Just a couple other, maybe I should talk about the Scentsy news briefly. If you're into Scentsy and you're excited about some things coming, I have some quick news to share. So on Monday, we have Gilmore Girls coming. We have Disney Villains coming, and the Bring Back My Buddy, which is the GOAT. They are all launching on Monday. I will leave my newsletter linked down below, so you can just open it and read through it or look at the images. Go to the website, all those good things. If you're a visual person, I don't want to take up too much time like going through all the details when they are all on the website already. So there's some Scentsy news briefly for you. Pivoting from Scentsy into other things, I finished up this mahogany apple wallflower, was using this at work, and I unplugged it at work originally because one of my coworkers, one of her favorite scents is mahogany. So this felt fall appropriate while also still like appeasing her. And I hate this has been like for a couple years now, but the wick doesn't go down to the bottom of these. So some of them are better than others, but this was definitely a bad one. Like, it didn't even go down to the bottom, as you can see. It's so depressing. Anyway, that's the story with that. And then I finished this up in the crock, so I pulled it out to talk about. It is the Goose Creek Apple Cheesecake Cupcake. I had moved our crock recently upstairs, and I feel like I'm getting more use out of it, but at the same time, I feel like I'm maybe not using other things as much because it's upstairs, and so it like is in the same area as all of our other scents that are also upstairs. But I've really been enjoying it up there because it's easier to access. And I've really been trying to focus on using it like on the weekends when we're home more. And I generally don't turn it on quite as much during the week because we're not home quite as much. So finished this up in there, and then I put in Apple Crisp from Bath & Body Works. That was about halfway done, or like it was about halfway empty from me personally using it. And so I thought that was great to throw in there kind of to round out the transition to later fall. So that is what I have going on for that. This is a lot to talk about. I am going to now go change out my wax, so I have some fresh items to talk to you guys about next week. And yeah, that's all I have. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.